Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to Fabrizio Romano, Marcus Rashford is considering his future with Manchester United. He is concerned about his lack of game time. Atletico Madrid have reignited their interest in Marcus Rashford. Rashford didn't start against Manchester City yesterday, but he came on as a substitute. Rashford has endured a lot of poor games this season. He hasn't been the same player since he had the operation on his shoulder. He missed the first 2 months of this season with that shoulder problem, and earlier on this season he had a minor leg injury. Marcus Rashford has been part of the club for a long time. He risen up our academy and he joined Manchester United at the age of 7, and he broke into our senior squad back in 2016. And since then he's gone on to make nearly 300 appearances in all competitions. Rashford's contract at Manchester United expires next year. Manchester United lost 4-1 to Manchester City yesterday at the Etihad Stadium. Ralph Rangnick defended his squad after yesterday's 4-1 defeat to Manchester City. Rangnick said, "I cannot blame anyone not having tried." He said there's a gap between the two sides. I thought Manchester United were dominant in the first half yesterday, but Manchester United capitulated in the second half. Manchester United's goal came from Jadon Sancho. It was a precise low strike. Manchester City's goals came from Kevin De Bruyne. He got 2. Kevin De Bruyne could have had more than 2 goals because he had chances when he didn't score. Riyad Mahrez, he also got 2 goals. Mahrez could have had more than 2 goals because he also had other chances without scoring. Manchester City are now 6 points clear of Liverpool, reflecting on the win yesterday. If Manchester City win the title this season, that will be 4 titles in the last 5 seasons. Manchester City were missing players yesterday. Obviously, Ruben Diaz wasn't available because he's out with injury. Cole Palmer was injured. Zach Steffen was injured. Zach Steffen is Manchester City's second choice goalkeeper. And Nathan Ake was injured, but Nathan Ake doesn't really get in Manchester City's team. Manchester City are the best team in England. They're one of the best teams in world football. Manchester City have got a great manager in Pep Guardiola. Guardiola is regarded as one of the best managers in world football. Guardiola's got a good pedigree behind him. He's won a lot of trophies in his managerial career. He's won a lot of trophies at Man City. Last season, Manchester City won the Premier League. City have won 3 titles in the last 4 seasons. Last season, won the Carabao Cup. Prior to Liverpool winning it this season, City won the Carabao Cup for the last 4 seasons in a row. And last season, Manchester City got to the Champions League final, but they lost to Chelsea. The Champions League is the only trophy Manchester City have not yet won. And a few years ago, Manchester City won the domestic treble. And that was a season City finished on 100 points. Before Man City, Guardiola managed Bayern Munich and Barcelona. He almost won the Champions League at Bayern Munich. He did win the Champions League when he was at Barcelona. Guardiola has been the Manchester City manager for 6 years. City appointed Guardiola in back in 2016. His contract at Manchester City expires next year. Guardiola is only good because of Bielsa, because revert back to a lot of years ago, Bielsa and Guardiola worked with each other and Bielsa taught Pep Guardiola. And obviously Guardiola's been following Bielsa's philosophy at Man City. Obviously not so long ago, Bielsa was sacked from Leeds. Before Pep Guardiola, Manchester City had Manuel Pellegrini, they won the Premier League under him. And before then they had Roberto Mancini, and City won the title under him. When they won the title under him, it was their first title in 44 years. City also won the FA Cup when they had Mancini. A lot of money has been invested into that Manchester City team, and Guardiola has spent over £1 billion in his managerial career, but more than half of that has been put on that Man City team. Let me put into the equation that City have lost good players. Back in January, they lost Ferran Torres. He went to Barcelona from Man City. They lost Aguero at the end of last season. He left Man City on a free to go to Barcelona. They also lost Eric Garcia. He went to Barcelona. Barcelona have got quite a few players off Man City. A few years ago, City lost Leroy Sané. He went to Bayern Munich. They lost David Silva a few years ago. He went to Real Sociedad from City. City also lost Jack Harrison. He went to Leeds. Vincent Kompany left City around 3 or 4 years ago. When he left City, he went to become player manager at Anderlecht. They lost Otamendi. Otamendi was part of the deal of City getting Ruben Diaz, and they lost Joe Hart. City have done the double over Manchester United because Man City won at Old Trafford earlier on this season 2-0. But Man United won at the Etihad last season 2-0. Manchester United were missing players yesterday. Obviously there was no Ronaldo because he was absent from the squad. There was no Edison Cavani. There was no Luke Shaw. And there was no Raphael Varane. But that's no excuse. Manchester United's next game is Tottenham. And that's going to be another difficult game. Top 4 is now in doubt for Manchester United. Reflecting on the defeat to Manchester City, Arsenal beat Watford yesterday 3-2. Ralph Rangnick has now lost 2 games in the Premier League as Manchester United's interim manager. He's lost 3 games in all competitions. Ralph Rangnick has been Manchester United's interim manager for 3 months. He's Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season. Then he's expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Earlier on this season, it said Rangnick wants the permanent Man United job. But I'm very sceptical he'll get the Man United job on a permanent basis. I think the only chance he'd have is getting the Man United job on a permanent basis if he gets Man United a top 4 finish this season and he wins the Champions League. The Champions League is the only chance Manchester United have got of winning a trophy this season. We won't win the Champions League though, so it's going to be another trophyless season for Manchester United. Man United have not won a trophy for 5 years. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Rangnick was totally blameless for that 4-1 defeat to Manchester City yesterday. You know, it's the players. They're not performing well enough. And there is players at Manchester United that are simply not good enough, like pundits have been talking about. Unfortunately, Rangnick did not get backed in the January transfer window. And he actually got promised at the first as well that he was going to get backed. Man United endured a very disappointing January transfer window because we didn't make any signings. We should have let Lingard and Henderson leave, but we blocked their exits. And we had the incident with Mason Greenwood towards the end of January. On the other side of things though, Man United let around 8 players leave in January. We loaned like Van der Beek out to Everton, we loaned Martial out to Sevilla, we loaned Amad Diallo out to Rangers, we loaned Ethan Laird out to Anzebe, went out on loan to Napoli, and Teden Menga went out on loan to Birmingham. Rangnick's endured 1 transfer window as Manchester United's interim manager. Before Man United, he was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. I think Manchester United's next permanent manager will either be Erik ten Hag or Mauricio Pochettino. Now, there's been a lot of narratives coming out about Erik ten Hag recently. It said Erik ten Hag's chances of joining Manchester United are rising. Romano said that Man United have already started negotiations with Erik ten Hag. Ten Hag has been learning English. Ten Hag has told Ajax he wants to leave at the end of the season. Erik ten Hag has his heart set on a move to Manchester United. You know, Rangnick wants Erik ten Hag to become Man United's next permanent manager, and there's a lot of Manchester United fans that would like to see Erik ten Hag get recommended in. Erik ten Hag has not yet managed in the Premier League, and it would be good for him to come and experience the Premier League. And I think if Erik ten Hag became Man United's next manager, he would suit the strappings of the club, and he'd get the best out of these group of players, and he would be capable of winning trophies. You've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. He's got Ajax to the Dutch Cup final, so could be winning more silverware. He's won a couple of Eredivisie titles with Ajax. Revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals, and he's developed the young players well. Erik ten Hag has been the Ajax manager for around 5 years. Ajax appointed him in back in 2017. His contract at Ajax expires next year. Before Ajax, he managed Utrecht. Before then, he managed Bayern Munich's reserves, and before then, he managed Go Ahead Eagles. And Pochettino, he wants a Tottenham Hotspur return. Well, before he was at PSG, he was at Tottenham. He endured a 5.5-year managerial tenure with Tottenham. Back in 2018, he got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final, and at one point, he almost won the league when he was Tottenham manager. I think Tottenham made a bad mistake sacking him at the time. Before Tottenham, he managed Southampton. He only enjoyed a short managerial tenure with Southampton, but he still managed to guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. and before Southampton he managed Espanyol. Not so long ago, the PSG director, Leonardo, said that Mauricio Pochettino has not asked to leave PSG. Said Pochettino is expected to leave PSG at the end of the season. Pochettino's been in charge of PSG for over a year. I think he's won a French Cup with them. His contract at PSG expires next year. Revert back to when Man United sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United should have got Pochettino then, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. Prior to the game against City, he said Ralph Hasenhüttl was on Manchester United's shortlist for the manager's job. Hasenhüttl is the Southampton manager. Revert back to last week, it said Carlo Ancelotti emerged as a candidate for Manchester United. He was recommended by Sir Alex Ferguson. But Real Madrid have already said that they're more than happy with Carlo Ancelotti and they have no plans to part ways with Ancelotti. Manchester United are looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson. 4 permanent managers have been sacked since Ferguson, even though Man United are not really known as a sacking football club. So the managers we've sacked since Ferguson so far, we sacked David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after almost 3 years in charge. So there you go. And in the last 10 years, Manchester United have only won 4 trophies. We've not won the Premier League since 2013. And in the last 10 years, Manchester United have spent over 1.3 billion. And we've brought over, 40 odd players in since Ferguson retired. Obviously, there's 2 players here from the Ferguson era, that's Jones and De Gea. Moyes, he brought 2 players in, that was Mata and Fellaini. Mata's still here, but obviously Fellaini's not at Man United. Louis van Gaal, he brought around 15-16 players in when he was United manager. Mourinho, he recommended 11 players into the club, and when Solskjaer was Man United manager, he brought 14 players in. Manchester United have not been the same team since Ferguson retired. And a lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired, which obviously it has done. No one will replicate what Ferguson did at the club. Ferguson is the greatest manager of all time. He brought success to Manchester United because he won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles, but he didn't settle in straight away, Ferguson, because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. Alex Ferguson was at Manchester United for 26 years, so reflecting on that, he was a long-serving manager. Alex Ferguson retired almost 10 years ago now. Like I've said so many times, we've got to get the Glazers out of the club because they've been one of the biggest problems at the club for a long time now. The Glazers have owned Manchester United for a long time. They've owned the club for around 16 and a half years. The Glazers bought Manchester United for 500 million back in 2005. In the summer of this year, I'm expecting Manchester United to make signings. I reckon in the summer we'll try and sign a midfielder and a striker. Well, Man United are on the hunt for a new striker. On the other side of things, I'm expecting a lot of players to depart the club in the summer. Up to 11 players could be leaving Man United in the summer. We are looking to raise funds. So in the summer, I'm expecting Edinson Cavani to leave. Edinson Cavani has been linked with a move to Brazil. He's also been linked with a move to La Liga. Earlier on this season, it said Edinson Cavani is expected to leave as a free agent this summer. He's out of contract at Manchester United in the summer. Manchester United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Like I said, Cavani was absent from the squad yesterday. He's just come back though from a groin injury. Cavani's had a few injuries since he signed for the club. Lingard, I'm also expecting him to leave Manchester United in the summer. He should have left in January, Lingard, but we blocked his exit. Lingard is out of contract in the summer, yeah. Lingard has been part of the club for a long time. He reason up our academy in that, but Lingard doesn't get in the team that much. But surprisingly, he did start against Leeds at Ellen Road. I think he came on in the game against Atletico Madrid, and he came on yesterday against Manchester City. Donny van der Beek and Martial, I'm expecting them to leave permanently in the summer. At the moment, Van der Beek's out on loan with Everton and Martial's out on loan with Sevilla. Juan Mata, I'm also expecting him to leave in the summer. He's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Juan Mata has been at Manchester United for 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Manchester United got Mata from Chelsea back in 2014, got him for 37.1 million. He's had a good career at Manchester United. Mata doesn't get in our team though, does he? He lost his place in the team a while ago. Cristiano Ronaldo, there's a good chance he'll leave Man United in the summer, especially if Manchester United fail to finish in the top 4. Like I said, top 4's in doubt. Now, we've already said that we'll allow Cristiano Ronaldo to leave this summer. Ronaldo obviously didn't play any part against City yesterday because he was absent from the squad and picked up a knock. I thought he was going to start against Man City. Well, Ronaldo's been out of form anyway. Ronaldo's only scored 1 goal in his last 10 games. The last goal Ronaldo scored was a 2-0 win against Brighton, but prior to the Brighton game at Old Trafford, he didn't score in his last 6 games. The other week, it said Rangnick wants to replace Ronaldo with a Sheeman. Ralph Rangnick has major doubts about Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo is the best player in the world though overall. He's won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. And since Ronaldo re-signed for Man United, he's scored 15 goals in all competitions. He's got over 800 goals in his career, and Man United re-signed Ronaldo last summer for 20 million with add-ons included. He wears a number 7 shirt, and Ronaldo's contract at Manchester United expires next year. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo receives almost £500,000 a week, so reflecting on that, he's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. Matic, I'm expecting him to leave Manchester United in the summer. He's out of contract in the summer. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but he's the only predominant centre defensive midfielder Man United have got. Matic didn't play any part against City. He did play in the 0-0 draw against Watford, and to be fair, he put a good performance out. Earlier on this season, he had a shin injury, did Matic. Matic has been at Manchester United since 2017. We got him from Chelsea. We got him for £40 million. There's a good chance that Pogba will be leaving Manchester United in the summer as well. He's out of contract in the summer. Revert back to earlier on this season, it said Pogba would only sign a new contract at Man United if he was to receive £500,000 a week. He's on around £300,000 a week at the moment on his current deal. Earlier on this season, it said Pogba would be open to Premier League offers if he leaves Manchester United this summer. There again, earlier on this season, it said Pogba would be open to staying at Man United beyond the end of his contract. Pogba does have a good relationship with Rangnick. Pogba did play against Manchester City yesterday. Obviously, he did get the assist for Jadon Sancho's goal. He had some good moments in the game, but he was sloppy at times in the game as well. He hasn't been great in his last 3 games, Pogba, but prior to that, he's done well in all his other games since he recovered from injury. Manchester United paid £89 million for Pogba, so reflecting on that, he's our most expensive signing at the moment. And this season's been his 6th season at Manchester United since he re-signed. He's played over 200 games since he re-signed and he's won 3 trophies at the club so far. We had him when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. Jones and Bailly, I'm expecting them to leave in the summer because they don't get in the team, do they? Man United could look to sell Harry Maguire in the summer because Harry Maguire is not good enough to represent the club. You know, Maguire played against City yesterday. Maguire was shocking. Defensively all over the place. City's 3rd goal got deflected off Maguire. And Maguire got a yellow card yesterday for a reckless challenge. I think it was on Kevin De Bruyne. Well, prior to the Man City game, it said Harry Maguire has been upsetting his teammates in the dressing room, and Man United players questioned Harry Maguire's place in the team. Earlier on this season, Rangnick said that Maguire will remain Manchester United's captain until the end of the season. But earlier on this season, a lot of Man United fans were demanding for the captaincy to be taken off Maguire. He's not a leader, is he? We overpaid for Maguire, £80 million. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the 2nd most expensive signing at the club. And he's been at Man United over 2 years now and he's endured a few injuries since he signed for the club. Do you think we could sell Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the summer? Aaron Wan-Bissaka's not our first choice right back under Rangnick Delois, but despite that, you know, Bissaka's played, the last 3 or 4 games? He was poor against City yesterday, but in his other games before that, he's done alright. And we'll look to offload Dean Henderson in the summer as well, because Dean Henderson's our 2nd choice goalkeeper, doesn't really get in goal. Because revert back to last summer, De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. Henderson has only made 3 appearances this season. So anyway guys, with more videos coming up later, drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care, God bless, see you all again very, very soon.